Hello, everybody. It's Kerry with the weekly look ahead for August 17th through the 23rd. And it's actually Saturday. I'm putting this out, so we're looking at the chart here of tomorrow morning. If you're watching week by week, you can see that I have changed the daylight time to 6:30 in the morning. It's getting our days are getting shorter. So anyhow, let's just dig in. There's a few things going on this week. I would say the main thing is that Saturday, August 16th, the sun moved into Leo. So you're going to see that chart up there with the 17th is the sun is barely into Leo. And that's going to open up an interesting eclipse season. The sun is in each sign for about a month. And we do have our new moon coming up on Friday night into Saturday. I talk like I'm from the United States, so I am. So that is the big thing. The big change of this week is the sun has gone to Leo. It opens up the eclipse energy because of the Rahu-Ketu axis occupying Aquarius and Leo. So we will not have an eclipse this week. And honestly, none of the eclipses are very huge that are coming up in September. But I still think that the sun involved with Ketu in the sign of Leo is something. And wherever that house is in your chart, you might feel that sense of challenge with sun being the expression of individuality and who you are at the soul level, encountering Ketu, which is a shadowy energy, and it's a blocking energy. So it could be that during this next month with the sun in Ketu in Leo, you might be exploring eclipse energy and how that expresses with yourself. Like, are you shadowing yourself somehow? Are you blocking yourself? Are you blocking yourself? Are you being blocked? Is there a way to feel more seen? These might be themes that come up in the next month. So on Sunday, you can see that the moon is up there in Taurus, which is in the top line there. And by Monday, I'm just going to advance us. On Monday, we start the day with the moon in Gemini. So that's it brings me to Gemini, and it brings me to Jupiter. So you look at Jupiter at 21 degrees 6, and then over on the left column there, look at Rahu at 24:19. Jupiter's slowly moving closer and closer into an exact conjunction, actually aspect with Rahu. That won't be this week. It'll be a little bit later. But still, Rahu aspecting into Gemini and Libra, all of the air signs are affected by Rahu, and that can be really unstable feeling. In the last few days, Venus has moved through that exact aspect zone of Rahu into Gemini, and will be moving into Cancer this week. So if it feels like things just keep blasting at you that are unexpected and maybe even challenging in the sense of trying to decide what's good and what's bad. It's really hard to decide, hard to know when Rahu's involved, especially with Jupiter, because we think of Jupiter as very good and we think of Rahu as very challenging. So sometimes it's hard to tell if a thing or an event or something that's going on is actually positive or negative, or growth oriented or destructive. So if that little theme is going on in your life, that could be the explanation. I'm just going to pause here with the moon for a second and go down here and show you Mars. Last week, Mars really, you can see 13 degrees for Mars here and 640 for Saturn, and Saturn is retrograde. So the numbers are just going to get lower and lower until Saturn goes direct. But last week, Mars was really aspecting Saturn. And during the beginning of the week, when Monday, Tuesday, when the moon was with Saturn, stuff happened in the United States that was very interesting, sort of martial law type of things, with Mars hitting the fourth house of the United States, martial law. Interesting. Anyway, that was Monday, Tuesday. Since then, the moon has slipped down. It's waning. And we're starting Monday morning with the moon in Gemini, barely. So we're talking about a waning moon. Me personally, in my years of studying this, I found that some people think about the full moon as being the beginning of the lunar cycle, and some people consider the new moon the beginning of the lunar cycle. It's a toss-up. I personally feel more like it's a start, an end and a start with the new moon. Like right this minute, with the moon waning, it's pretty normal for people to feel tired, emotionally drained, physically drained, because the moon really reflects our mental and physical expression. So with the moon waning this week, maybe don't try to smash too much into your schedule. Just realize that energy is low and there's a lot going on, and we're having a week where the moon is going past all these planets. And I always feel like that feels a little bit more stimulating and hard to be clear about things. So that said, maybe plan a lighter schedule for yourself this weekend or this week. Okay, so this is Monday. We're going to advance to Tuesday. Tuesday, the moon starts the day in Gemini again, getting closer. Look at the 14 degrees. So by the next day, the moon is going to be late degrees of Gemini as we start. So just saying, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Rahu's really going to be aspecting Gemini and the moon. So when Rahu affects the moon, it's like confusion in the mind. It can be a lot of emotions. It can be very reactive. And with moon waning and going through all these planets, you have a choice at this moment to prepare yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to realize there might be triggers this week, and I'm going to plan to respond instead of react. So good intention for the week. All right, so this is Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, you can see the moon has moved through that the Rahu aspect zone Tuesday. And so Wednesday morning, we're getting the moon and Venus. Look how late degree they are in Gemini at the beginning of Wednesday. So during Wednesday, moon and Venus both slip down into Cancer. So we'll have moon, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer for a couple days. So starting Wednesday, with moon and Venus having gone to Cancer, with Mercury, and Mercury's day is Wednesday. It could feel like a very, very much a hump day, in the sense of like, I just need to take the day off, or I have so much emotion to process, or etc. That's what it could feel like. I'm just going to advance it to Thursday so you can get the visual of what it looks like with the Venus, moon, and Mercury all in Cancer. And here's where I want to say, wherever the sun is, we could read the chart from there. Like, I'm setting these charts for sunrise, which makes the rising sign along with the sun. So we're looking at each day in the sense of, hey, the sun is risen, and what's this day going to be like? So Leo being the first house, because the sun is in Leo right now, makes Cancer, the sign of Cancer, the 12th house. And with 12th house energy, we do feel endings. We can feel loss. We can feel like something's wrapping up. So with Venus and Mercury both in Cancer during this Sun and Leo transit, maybe think about what it's time to wrap up, or what is ending, especially when it comes to Venus and Mercury stuff. Venus relationships, Mercury business, that kind of thing. It could be that a season is ending and you're preparing for a new chapter in your business, or friendships are dissolving, that kind of thing. Moon and Mercury and Venus all together is very caring, very emotional energy, and very sensitive. So that could reflect on you too. So again, take care of yourself this week. Don't try to smash too much into your schedule. And find your people that you feel safe and happy with, because it might help with all that's going on. Okay, so this is Friday, very beginning of Friday. Again, nobody's moved. The sun is slowly advancing through Leo, and these guys are all still in Cancer. The moon will move on Friday. So Friday, the moon will go into Leo, and then it will get into the new moon. It will join the sun, and we'll have the new moon moment. And then the moon will begin to wax again. So by Saturday morning, next Saturday, August 23rd, the moon will be on its way to getting big again. So I'm just going to show you, this is Saturday morning. And by sunrise, the moon has already moved past the sun. And the new moon has completed by Saturday morning. And you can think of the end of this week, this coming week. Saturday is really does feel like maybe I could pick up some new things or walk down a new pathway. I like to wait until just after the new moon moment to initiate other new actions. Now, this time with the sun, moon, and Ketu all happening in Leo, it might be unclear what we should be starting. It might be a good idea to really sit with things for a while. Maybe until, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week when the moon clears by Mars, for example. Okay, so this is the essential week ahead. We've got the new moon coming. Energy could be lower. Venus is moving into Cancer. And Jupiter and Rahu's mutual aspect is just getting closer and closer and closer, which is really interesting. The other thing I wanted to just share with you, this isn't really an astrological technique, but while I was looking at these charts, getting ready to do this cast, it really came to me like, wow, all the planets are on, all these planets are on this one side. And then we've just got Saturn and Rahu over here on the other side. And seriously, nothing to do with actual astrology. It's just a visual thing. I was like, wow, it looks like everybody's lining up on two different sides at this point. And it really seems like it might feel that way. It might feel like that to us. Like, hey, there's some people over here on this side, and then there's a whole bunch of people over here on this side, and there's a big gap in between. So it might feel like, wow, why can't we talk to each other? Why can't we figure out what we want to do together? So just an interesting pattern I saw while I was getting this ready for you. I hope you have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Thanks again for listening. If you have any feedback, I love to hear it. Love to hear it. And the other thing is I love working with people one-on-one. So if you're interested in having me read your chart and work with you, you can find your way to my website, and I'll see you soon. Okay, take care.